Hey, what's up, North County? I'm your host, Randy Doty, and today we are talking all things Atascadero Chamber with Josh Cross, and we've got Stephan Fagan.
Yes, sir.
Awesome, guys. Thanks
Good
for
morning.
coming in. Good
It's
morning.
great to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. Thanks for being a part of our little journey here. So,
It's been fun to see your journey progress over these past few years.
yeah, and we just won this from you guys right
That
there.
is great.
Community
Congratulations.
Champion of the Year. So we
Yeah.
appreciate that as well.
Well, that was the first time we did this award, and we're kind of looking back at who has really kind of done a really good job uplifting the community this last year, and the selection committee really appreciated how you show up and you're involved in a lot of the events in Atascadero and North County, and you just do a great job highlighting what's important and highlighting some of the organizations and the businesses that often don't get a lot of attention. So
Yeah.
we felt that you and your team here do a great job just being a champion for the community.
Well, we appreciate it, man. We really do, and it was fun. It was a fun event, the gala, and just a lot of great people, and just everybody's. It was just a really great evening of businesses and community support, and it was awesome. So,
Yeah, well, you guys brought quite a crew. That was fun to see you have your full team there.
Oh yeah, yeah. We were blessed with the ride from Angel Share to the gala, so we were there safe and got home safe, which is the most important part. So
That is true.
yeah. So Josh, tell me about you. Tell me about the Atascadero Chamber. How long have you been with them? What's your position with them?
Let's see. I've been with the Atascadero Chamber since 2000. I was COVID hire, and I'm the CEO there, and I absolutely love what we do. When I first started, I was the only employee, and now we've grown the team to about 9. So we've had a lot of success and growth at the Atascadero Chamber. We have just kind of hunkered down and listened to our community. We put together some really special programs to help the businesses, and then recently we've just been joined by this gentleman to my left here, Stephan Fagan, who is our membership manager, and he's just doing a fantastic job.
Stephen, so tell me about your role with the Atascadero Chamber. I mean, what led you up to the Atascadero Chamber?
Well, that's a great question, Randy, and it's actually one that I love to share because it was actually this great program, and a lot of people are familiar with it. It's the leadership program, and so I was a part of the North County Leadership Class number 6. And it was a powerful class. Right off the bat, this group of individuals that was selected, from different walks of life and from different, roles within the community, right off the bat, the energy was electric. And part of that electricity were some of the staff from the Atascadero Chamber. Now, Eric Nappy, our workforce development specialist, was part of my class, and Josh was one of the speakers for our class. And so, as I move forward through the program, which was hosted at the time by Atascadero Chamber and Paso Chamber, I just kind of identified the fact that this group of people was really special. And so I moved forward out of that program and transitioned from the world of food and beverage and wineries into the world of Chamber of Commerce. And so I'm a transplant from food and beverage, into the chamber, and it's just been such a breath of fresh air to be a part of the chamber. To go from managing wine clubs to managing the memberships of the chamber has been nothing but a blessing for me in my life.
Is that what you? Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think one of the reasons that our secret sauce is that both you and I we're local grown in Atascadero. Yeah. Both went to Atascadero High. We both have real deep connections to the community, and everywhere Stephen goes, he's always like, he just runs into people that were babysitting him or his high school teachers, and same for me. And that's really important when you're a Chamber of Commerce, that you have this connection to community.
Well, I think that's a really important with the community. I mean, I'm born and raised in Atascadero, so it's kind of the same concept. Is you see people from all sorts of your life walk. Your teachers, that you haven't seen since high school or maybe even junior high. Mm-hmm. They're part of maybe businesses now. Like seeing Jerry Tanimoto.
Right.
I mean, a great example. Atascadero high school teacher. He was my football coach. Mm-hmm. And now you see him involved with the chamber and what he does with his organizations and stuff. But it's just a cool. And I always say the North County is like something like we're so blessed being in the North County, of California.
Yeah.
California gets a really bad rap in different areas, but here it's so cool, and everybody's so cool. Businesses are so cool. Atascadero's thriving, and so Stephen, welcome, man.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It has been a joy of my life. Like you said, seeing people that it's funny, that raised me. Now I get to kind of come in and raise this next generation of business owners, if you will, and help them and guide them through building their brands and businesses. And a lot of those guys that are building those brands and businesses are guys I went to high school with. So it is a great honor to help the friends that I went to school with build their brands, their businesses, and as we raise our families alongside each other in this beautiful place that we all get to call home.
And Stephen, I love the dreads.
Yeah.
I mean that really sells the whole picture for me.
I love that. Yeah, they've been a staple in my identity. Let's just say that for sure.
That's awesome. So, Josh, tell me a little bit about the chamber and what has it changed since 2000 to 2026 now?
Well, gosh, when we first got going there, we were just, struggling to keep the doors open. And I think what our first piece of success happened to be our co-working space. We have the Bridgeworks co-working associated with the chamber. And we got a little bit of money from the city and from the county to expand it, and we built out this extra 1,500 2,000 square feet of office space, and it is just a beautiful space. That space is now home to 20 small businesses. Many of them are startup entrepreneurs, and so I think that was the
And how long ago was that?
That was in 2022 that we finished that project.
Okay.
And since then, the space is just really conducive to community. We've got a great lounge and kitchen and outdoor patio and conference room that the community uses, and quite frequently. I feel like it's booked almost every night, and so that started spreading the word about how engaged the chamber is with the community. And that has just helped us, grow our membership because people want a piece of that. They love the blend of community and entrepreneurship, and the chamber is just right there, kind of overseeing all that.
So to give a better insight of it for viewers, it's basically spaces inside that people can either rent by the hour, the day, or even longer. Can they rent them by long term?
Yeah, we have a product for everyone. We have people that never come in, and we call them ghost members, and they just need an address. So if you just need an address for your business or somewhere to send your mail, we've got a spot for you. But then, yes, we have day desks, we have monthly desks, and then we have private offices, and then so there's something for everyone. Now, we are again blessed to be. We're full right now, and we have quite a long waiting list. So there's a big demand for this kind of co-working office space. There's another complementary office space that does co-working in Atascadero, and they're full too. So there's some real demand for this kind of product in Atascadero.
Do you think it's because of cost to have their own location, their own office? I mean, it's kind of like a ride share.
Yeah.
In terms for business location.
I think it's a combination of things. We have several folks that are Silicon Valley. They work for large companies in Silicon Valley, and they just either don't have the space at the house or they like a more social environment, and so they want to have an office with us. The other folks are appreciative of our turnkey space. So you come in and you get, your insurance is covered, and you don't have to worry about a printer and internet service. And we have fun things. We have a beer fridge and a wine fridge and a snack wall. And
I didn't want to say anything, but I did see that.
and a really nice espresso machine. So people love the amenities.
That's awesome. And so, Stephen, how do you see that the businesses gravitate to the city of Atascadero, the Chamber of Commerce, into this Bridgeworks, and what your role is with the Atascadero Chamber?
Well, you know what? One of my favorite things to do is to bring people who have never been into the Bridgeworks into Bridgeworks. It is just such a great way to start off the conversation because a lot of people have never been to the chamber. And whatever your misconception of a chamber is, the Atascadero Chamber breaks that misconception. And so I like to bring people, up and to see this space because it's always kind of an eye opener. It's this awakening moment where, oh wow, this place isn't as like dull and dingy as I thought it was going to be. It's this bright, fun, space that all these people are seem to be laughing and smiling and having a good time, networking and working together. So as we bring our community to the chamber, it's important that that recognition for that space and the people who make it that joyful place comes to fruition. And so that's kind of a big part of why we bring people and welcome into the space. And a big part of having that space available to our members is so they can have that like office away from the office, if you will. A lot of small business owners, they really need a space that they can get away from being the face of the brand, right? When you are the face of your business, it is so hard to get any work done because you're constantly making yourself available to your constituents or your customers. And so I love to see when one of our local business owners is down in the chamber in the bridge working space, like over in a corner on their laptop or making some calls, because I know that they have that space to be professional. And it is really I would say a great upside to being a part of the chamber is having the access to that space. Beer fridge and wine fridge included.
Is a bonus.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is a bonus. So Josh, over the years for the Atascadero Chamber, you think you guys are in this like bright promised land as opposed to, years ago, like, Stephen mentioned a point as, the chamber kind of that vibe, that it was almost like the chamber. I don't want to,
Right.
Be a part of the chamber, but now it's kind of changed. It seems like you guys have so many businesses and you guys, I always say at Atascadero, you guys are doing a lot of stuff there for the businesses. So tell me about how that evolution has happened.
I think a lot of it is just my personality is not one that is, I'm not a sales guy. And so if I was wanting to sell chamber to people, I wanted to give them something in return. And I've always had that philosophy of like, what can I give you in exchange for you becoming a member? And so that's where we started with a lot of these programs that have been so successful. It started with Get Your Business Online, where we helped small businesses, 180 small businesses, get their business on. We did free websites for them. We got grant funding to do that. We now have 2 workforce development staff on team to help people get free or low-cost employees. And we need to get Eric on the show here to talk about that to the business community. And we have a new program. It's the Family-Friendly Workplace, how to incorporate best practices to retain and attract top talent to your business. So, these are all free to our businesses, and they've really helped me and, Stephen, talk about what a chamber can do for you.
Because it used to be more of a, pay your membership dues, your yearly thing, and then, it's all about, now what do I have to give them, fund rate, whatever it may be. But now the tables have kind of turned to where, like you mentioned, what can we give you to help your business? So have you seen a lot of businesses start coming into the chamber to want to be a part of it over the last 5-6 years?
Oh, 100%. Our membership has grown from about 300 to where it is today, about 700. And so
wow.
We are...
Are those all Atascadero businesses?
They're SLO County businesses, yeah. I'd say mostly Atascadero. We might have about 100 businesses in Paso, Templeton.
Wow.
And, we go to these conferences in the U.S., and we are I always say, we're freakishly large size chamber for the amount of population that we have in our community. We're a bedroom community.
Right.
What other bedroom community has almost 700 members? And, that just goes to show that people really believe in the work that we're doing.
Is that where you guys go to get your ideas as far as to how to make Atascadero Chamber better or improve? Is to these networking, I guess, amongst which you just came back from, right?
Yeah, so we have a professional association called the Western Association of Chamber Executives, and there's two. There's the Western, and then there's there's one that's called ACC. Anyway, so there's the kind of more of an East Coast one and a West Coast one, and we go to the West Coast one, and you just talk to other chambers about what are you doing, what benefits are you offering your members, what programs do you have, what challenges do you have, and how do you overcome them. And we were just in Tucson a couple months ago, and we just come home with a huge list of ways to improve our chamber. And one philosophy that we have is our chamber is 103 years old, but I like to say that we're a 103-year-old startup, because we're constantly evolving, constantly changing, and bringing fresh ideas.
You guys got a lot of calls during the city parking issue businesses, but you guys were able to kind of help those businesses more so by engaging with them and events to bring everybody downtown. Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, the construction was really challenging for downtown business owners, and we are very aware of that. And what we did is we put together programs to the best that we could to draw local attention to downtown, to keep people shopping and supporting restaurants. And so, for example, we put together a program. It was a Shop Local bonus, and Souza Construction was doing all the road and streetscape improvements. And so they gave us a grant to buy gift cards from downtown businesses.
Oh, nice.
And so we bought a bunch of gift cards and, told, folks, go spend $100 downtown during construction, give us your receipts, and we'll give you a $25 gift card. Those are the kinds of programs that we can do.
What kind of response did you get from that? Did you get a lot of people turning those in?
Oh, 100%. People love those kinds of programs. So I'm thinking we spent about, $10,000 in gift cards, and we probably collected over $80,000 in receipts.
Oh,
so people were spending a lot of money to get their $20 or $25 gift card.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But what a great way to purge the community to go support local.
It was, yeah. And, since then, we have 130 extra parking spaces. Downtown's looking beautiful. I see new private investment coming in and filling in the vacant spaces. So I feel like this has been, the what do you call it? The juice has been worth the squeeze.
Stephen, so in this new role that you've kind of stepped into, so tell me, you've been there, for 4 or 5 months?
Yeah.
Tell me, how has that been for you, for, going out there and knocking on doors and introducing yourself and meeting businesses?
Well, you know what? I was able to bring my network to the table, so I was able to get some immediate W's out of those old high school buddies that I was talking about.
Right.
But I kind of wondered, what happens with my membership, gain after all my friends are part of the chamber, after I bring in, all the businesses that I have connections with. And to tell you the truth, I worried for nothing, because there are so many amazing businesses in Atascadero that I haven't connected with. And it really just, kind of had this sense of calmness after I got my first 4 memberships that were completely unrelated to my network. And you know what? It really just opened my eyes to how many just excited, community-oriented people are starting their businesses in Atascadero. And also how many businesses in Atascadero that for one reason or another have never been recognized by the chamber. And that happens. Things slip through the cracks. But it's one of those things where if you don't get out there and put your boots on the ground, you don't find those businesses. We have so many businesses that have been with the chamber for over 20 years. And as I started to look at, those members and the longevity that we've had at the chamber, it really speaks volume for the membership. And so as I inherited these members and I inherited this role, my goal was to identify and bring, gratitude and, essentially awareness and recognition to all these businesses that have been, in Atascadero and a part of our community for so long that a lot of us maybe along the way have lost sight of. And to me, it's very important that we bring those businesses back into the light as we also celebrate the new businesses that are coming into our area. We've got a lot of ribbon cutting scheduled for the next month. We've got, at least 4 or 5 new businesses coming in to Atascadero. We're excited to welcome them. And outside of that, it's really just a matter of making sure that the people who have been in this town and have been doing business and have been a part of our community also are recognized and realized for, their key role they've played in our economy. We all got through the parking debacle together. We all got through the downtown renovation together. And now as we kind of look around and see, who's still happy and still who's ready to do business, it's a great and exciting time to be not only a part of the chamber, but a part of the Atascadero community.
How do you, for a business that you're walking into and businesses that's not a part of the chamber, how do you overcome some of their reservations to be a part of the chamber?
That's a great question because, I'll circle back to what we were kind of talking about is like that stigma, right? People think of it as this kind of socialite club that if you were a business owner, if you're not a successful business owner, then, a chamber is not something that you acquire within, your time, doing business in Atascadero. And it was kind of this like, I don't know, like I said, kind of like a social club really was what it was. There wasn't really there was no big base for ROI. And now we have such a wide base for how we can give our members return on investment, right? We really go to work for our members. And it's something that, as someone who's been aware of the chamber, it was something that you really don't understand until you do get involved with the chamber in some fashion or form, how much different that stigma has, changed over these last, 10 years. And obviously Josh is a huge part of what we're doing at the Atascadero Chamber. And when we went to, that conference out in Tucson, you realize that not every chamber has made that leap. Some of the chambers are still acting as that, kind of socialite functional club. Which, in time, every chamber will have to evolve because chambers like ours are leading the way and pushing that kind of forefront, if you will, on providing an ROI, which was not something that chambers needed or necessarily did in the past.
Yeah, there was, I would say, chambers used to be known for their 3 Ps, or maybe I call them 5. The parties, the pageants, the parades, and then I could add pyrotechnics and pancake breakfast. That's what chamber worked for decades. That's what they did, is that kind of work. And we have really strived to switch that to, we call it the 3 Cs, to be a catalyst for business success, a convener of business leaders in our community, and a champion for our community and our businesses in our region. So as we transition to these, the 3 Cs, it's made a real difference at our chamber, and I think people can really see that. Now, the P's are fun. I got to tell you, we do a few P's ourselves.
Add some P's in there with the C's.
Exactly.
Sometimes the P's pay for the C's,
right?
And so it is. We can't fully transition to just be a 3C chamber, but.
Do you have any businesses that you can think back on that were a challenge to get involved and be a part of the chamber? Maybe past experiences that have really came back and said, "Hey, I'm so glad that we got involved with you guys."
Oh gosh, Steve, do you have a good example?
I'm already trying to think of a good example. I'm thinking,
because you guys really do a lot for the businesses.
Yeah.
Through technology. We got AI now, like you mentioned, websites. Everything is like, we're talking about, which we'll talk about the junior CEOs, but the kids, from when I was a kid to these kids' ages to now, it's like night and day. These kids are growing up on computers and, technology that a lot of these business owners are kind of still in that mindset of ChatGPT is a great example. I have people that, and I don't know how to use it 100% anyways. I have a love-hate relationship with ChatGPT.
Right.
But there's so many businesses that are kind of that older generation that just can't wrap their head around this technology. How do you overstep that with a business?
Well, I think you're absolutely right. I like to say, like, if you're great at we have business owners that are great at making cupcakes, but they're not so good at doing marketing or their finances or getting grants or staffing. And that's where the chamber can really come alongside them and say, hey, we have a workforce development program. We, with your membership, have a pretty awesome marketing package that we can do, and Stephen's a big part of that as well. And we can be part of your business, an extension of your business. And you know, in terms of AI, absolutely, there are tools out there. It's just, do you have the desire, the time, or the interest to learn those tools to sort your business, or are you just too tired at the end of the day and just be like, I can't do it, or I need someone else to do it. And that's where the chamber can come in.
Well, you guys do a great job at that, and being, like you said, you had mentioned, an extension of your business, because I really think that that's what you guys do. You're an extension of your business, of the people that are involved with the Atascadero Chamber, and you have the technology, the resources, the people to facilitate that, with knowledge, getting a business to understand the technology and a website and, all these different avenues that are so challenging for a business owner that is trying to operate and run their business. And then, like you mentioned, marketing, okay, that's another, how do I do that? How do I put together these emails? How do I put together these flyers? And so you guys do a great job. So I just wanted, tell you guys that, because you guys have done a great job. I've seen it on the backside as far as the chambers, because mentioning what you're talking about before, you kind of had that stereotype of a, not Atascadero, but a chamber of what it was. Yeah. And now you guys have kind of broken through that wall and have opened up a new era of chambers.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So Josh, tell me about, so 2026, we've got a lot of stuff happening. Tell me all the stuff that the Atascadero Chamber is involved with putting on in Atascadero.
Oh, goodness. Okay, well, we've just had an explosive amount of events and opportunities just starting in January. First off, I got to plug something about our chamber, because it was really cool. We had the opportunity to chair the WACE conference, the National Chamber Conference in Tucson, and that was a great amount of pride for our chamber to be able to do that, to lead that, to put a spotlight on Atascadero, to show that even a small community like Atascadero can do something big, like lead a national chamber conference. And so our team really rallied around each other, and we launched the feedback from the committee of the conference folks is hands down the best conference ever. And that's not, some people can just say that, but there's a number score that is put together at the end of conference, and we had the highest recorded score for a chamber conference.
Wow, congratulations.
So I was really proud of that and what we accomplished. After that, we went right into State of the City, which was a great way to collaborate with the city and just inform the public about what's going on. We've rolled into our junior CEO program, which we're going to talk about, and launched that, and did a 5-week virtual training course with 110 students. We've launched our wine festival ticketing, and now we just had our gala this last weekend, which was really fun, Havana Nights.
Great theme, by the way.
Yeah, it was fun.
That was so awesome. Everybody said that the Havana night theme was awesome.
And I think part of why that was awesome is because it was casual. Nobody was wearing a suit or a tie, and you could kind of go to something that was kind of more formal but dressed down. And we have fun. We have live band, and we have we had lots of things for people to do, which was great. We're gonna take a little rest for a couple a couple weeks, but then we'll ramp right back up. We've got we do roundtables with CEOs and with the developers, and we have our monthly mixers, which I think Stephan can talk about, and then we go into our wine festival, and then we do our Women of Influence program. There's always something to do at the chamber.
So, Stephan, tell me about the monthly mixers and what that brings and what it does for the community.
Man, the thing about the mixers is chambers have always done mixers. It's one of the fundamental tools the chamber has functioned, behind, is bringing the community together for network settings, right? But what does a mixer look like now, in this day and age? It's got to be present in your community. It doesn't have to just be this event that the same amount of people go to every time. You want to have a rotating group of people, because what your mixer really is, a mixer is your culture. A mixer is where you showcase the community that your chamber is building. It showcases who's active in your chamber. And so the best way for anyone who's considering chamber membership, by the way, is to come to one of the mixers, because that's where you can really put your finger on the pulse of the chamber. And one of the things that I enjoy about them the most is bringing together all the like-minded people, right? It's kind of like a wine club pickup party, if you will. It's a bunch of people who love the same thing in the same room. And it just makes for a great atmosphere. And so as we, move forward and kind of make our mixers more progressive, what's that look like? It looks like live music. It looks like an open bar. It looks like having
part of the P's, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Part of the P's. Make it a little bit of a party, right? But bring people together, showcase your businesses, and really kind of just enjoy each other's company, right? Because like I said, at the end of the day, you're bringing a bunch of like-minded people together who are all fired up and excited about the same thing.
And it's also a great spot for, networking as well, because then you get to meet other business owners that, may or may not need your services. And, it's a great space for that too. What were you going to say?
One of the new, well, we've been doing it for a few years now. One of the new activities we do at our chamber membership mixers is we have a member pop-up alley. That's what we call it. And what we do is invite members to bring a booth and to have some sort of interactive activity, where it's like a spinny wheel or a cornhole game or something for folks to interact with that business. And so we bring all these businesses each time, which just always brings new energy, new people to every mixer and keeps them fresh.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, you guys do a great job at, kind of merging businesses and people together, and that's what is making you guys thrive as you guys are. So
let's see, April 16th. Just going to plug that real quick. April 16th, our mixer will be hosted at Chalk Mountain Golf Course.
Nice.
Showcasing their new Rudy Duran Golf Center. Evan, their director over there, has just been an absolute joy to work with. We're really looking forward to hosting the mixer over at Chalk Mountain. That's going to be from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. April 16th, Chalk Mountain Golf Course. It's going to be a great time, and it's going to be a phenomenal networking opportunity.
That's great. So Josh, brings me to the Junior CEO. Tell me about this. I love this program, but I'm going to let you talk all about it.
Yeah, well, the Junior CEO program started as an opportunity for us to engage the youth, the youngest minds in our community that could be future business owners in Atascadero. And the concept was, how do we put a more formalized education around opening a lemonade stand? And it started small, and then this year we have over 110 participants. But
Wow.
the idea is that the students do 5-week virtual training with some local celebrity business owners, and they learn things about business basics, marketing, how to handle food safely, banking basics, and how to cost models, how to price your product. So we teach them, things like how to name your business, and how to make a flyer, and how to make a logo. And so at the end, the students have, a pretty basic understanding of how to run a business. Now, we have students as young as 6 and as old as 16. And so, the 6-year-olds are, that need quite a bit of parent involvement, and they're not quite understanding, dividends and, interest-bearing accounts and things like that. But we try and keep it, age appropriate. Anyway, the students come up with just really clever and creative business ideas. And on April 12th, which is next Sunday, they will be congregating at Sunken Gardens in downtown Atascadero, and about 65 of them will have booths. there for the public to come out and support and see what kind of products they've made and to support these young entrepreneurs.
What a great idea.
It is
Where did this
really
idea
fun.
come from?
Came from another chamber in Visalia, and they had a similar program, and we kind of took it and we just kind of made it, Atascadero-fied it. And one of the other cool things that we've added is students all have to visit City Hall and get a business license, a junior CEO business license.
A real one?
It is not a real business license.
Man, that would be very impressive, though, if they did a
Right.
6-year-old with a business license.
Yeah, and so as 6-year-old, you have to march into City Hall and you have to talk to a city employee, a city planner about your business license, and I guess that they ask some questions. What's your name? What's your business? How big is your sign going to be? Just kidding. They don't ask that, but
But in a sense, it's a great idea because you're teaching these little, miniature business owners, entrepreneurs, spirited mind of how the real world works.
exactly, yeah, and yeah, it's just for them to get a taste of it, and so it's just a really cool program. I'm just so proud of this year's cohort of junior CEOs. They ask fun questions. They're funny.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's just really heartwarming.
How long has the program been going?
We're on year 4.
Year 4. What are some of the past businesses that have launched that you're just completely just taken back as a young mind was able to launch this particular business?
Well, I would say one of the ones that I've been most impressed with was last year, and they've done it again this year, as a young student who's doing charcuterie boards. And he, I'm not sure what you call it, but like he takes an electric something and zaps the board, and it makes this like pattern on it, and then he comes up with
wood burning.
Yeah, it comes on with like this epoxy coating on top. They're just so beautiful. We bought one last year to auction off at this year's gala, and it sold for way more than we purchased it for. So that was really cool. We have students this year that I thought was just really clever. They did a bat box where bats can live in this box, and 100 bats can live inside it. And it's not very big. It's just like that tall, and I guess 100 bats can live in there. And in Atascadero, once the water is really present, you have a lot of bugs. And the bats, I've learned all this because they came in and told me, each bat can eat like between 2,000 and 3,000 insects a day. So you've got all these bats now potentially in your area that can eat all these insects, so you don't have mosquitoes biting you at night.
Wow, like an environmentalist, bat box.
Yeah. So that was really different. We have a student doing worm farms and selling worms, to improve your soil conditions, but also worms for like fishing bait. So
Interesting.
That's
So these
fun.
kids will be all out there on Sunday, April 12th.
Yeah,
And what time is that from?
it starts at 11 and goes until 2.
Okay.
I'm gonna go broke.
Right.
We're all going broke.
There's so many cool things out there.
Well, and then I'm sure that there's going to be these kids are going to be manning their booths, talking about their product, and is there going to be like, do you guys give awards or how does that work, Josh?
We haven't done awards. That's something we might consider doing. It was brought up last year, and it's something to think about. I'm not sure what it would be yet. So
Who was the leader of this year's junior CEO? I'm sure there's somebody that's like the main person that's giving advice, or do you guys have different leaders in the community that's doing that?
I lead the training program, but then I have people like Lorelei Capel from the city talking about business basics. How to get a permit, how to get a business license, how to name your business, and We had Alana from Patch Little Cousins or Patch Thrift Shop teaching people about how to price their items. We had chef from Trumpet Vine Catering, Nick from there, taught kids about food safety. And we had Mechanics Bank talk about banking basics. So some real great teachers.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So this year it's kicking off. So you guys are coming to the end of your program for this year.
Yeah.
And so are people already getting reservations, or is it an unlimited amount of kids that you can bring into this program?
So far, right.
So you have no cap.
Not yet. So we open enrollment in January, and they have like January and February to enroll. And then our training is in March and April.
Stephen, what's a couple of the businesses that you're excited to see their end result this year?
So and I was not aware of this, but there's actually a viral sensation, and it's called a squirrel picnic table. Have you? And I know you may not be familiar, but
I
believe
haven't.
me,
Inform me.
You are going to be absolutely enthralled. So this is a picnic table that you essentially he builds. This kid builds them by hand, and you mount it to like a tree or a fence post, and you put some like squirrel food on there or some bird food, and the squirrel comes up onto the table, and it's the most adorable thing you've ever seen. And I'm just saying, keep them out of the bird feeders, give them their own place at the table. The squirrel feeder table for me is one of the, I don't know, I just think it's awesome. And then on top of that, we've got what now?
The hype change.
Oh, the hype chains. Yes, I should have brought it. It's in my car. The hype chain. This young man has 3D printed the most accurate and like just amazing sports chains. And so essentially he's 3D printed a chain, right? And then the pendant, the medallion, is about as big as a dessert plate, and it spins. And he has got models for Atascadero Greyhound, Paso Robles Bearcats, and the Templeton Eagles. And I'm telling you, they are really slick.
What are they made out of? Metal?
No, they're plastic. He 3D prints them. Yeah, he's got a 3D printer, and he 3D prints all the pieces and then assembles them.
No kidding.
Everything from the chain to the bearings inside of this kind of like Flavor Flav pendant, if you will.
Right.
You know, it puts off Flavor Flav vibes for sure. But you know
And how old is he?
God, I think I didn't ask his dad. I think he's like 12. I want to say. I want to say he's 12.
Yeah, these 3D printers have really come a long way. My boys did the program the first year with an older 3D printer, and they were not printing out hype chains. I'll tell you that.
This was this guy's. He's definitely got a decent printer, that's for sure. But he probably started with a lower model. He probably bought a lot of dragons and eggshells, along the way. Did well with it, and the parents, went ahead and upgraded his machine. I've seen that with, some of my friends. Their kids really take to the machine. Then the parents end up taking to the machine, and so then they end up, by way of that, kind of getting into the hobby together. They end up getting a nicer machine. And so this dad and this son have managed to, make some of the neatest sports, memorabilia or just sports paraphernalia, whatever you want to call it. And he's got them for all of our high schools. And I'm thinking this kid better figure it out, because he can't be at every Friday night game at once. He's going to need, either a way to distribute these to the boosters, the different booster organizations. Obviously, each school has its own booster. And so we're hoping to, really make the introductions with those booster presidents for this young man, because he could do tremendously well going in and just wholesale selling his hype chains to the booster organizations, because the image that he has for the Greyhound and for the Bearcat and for the Eagle, they're slick. Like it's not like pixelated. Like it is really dialed down. Everyone would buy one at a Greyhound game. You know how people are with the orange and gray.
Oh yeah,
they get crazy over it.
Any of the towns, Paso, Templeton, and Atascadero. It's either you're green. No, I don't wear red. I don't wear orange. I wear green. I wear red. It's crazy. It's a cult.
Yeah, I plan on having one of each.
Yeah.
That way, whatever town I'm in, I'll have the right chain on.
So, Josh, how does people get involved? The businesses that haven't been touched by the chamber, to get more information. Can they go somewhere to understand your different tiers for the chamber, being a member? How they get involved? What does it entail?
Our website is a great resource for that. It's just to kind of poke around there, and there are all kinds of information about becoming a member, the benefits that you receive, all of our programs, many resources, many of which are free to everyone. And just where all mine and Stephen's and the rest of the team's emails and phone numbers are all up there. Just swing by, come check out our co-working space. We're happy to give tours, and we give everyone a coffee and a nice little tour, and people like seeing themselves in that space and being part of our organization.
Or you can come out to a mixer, which is April
16th at
April
Chalk Mountain
16th.
Golf Course, 5:30 to 7:30. Yeah, that's the best way. Come to the office. Just come in, and that way you can feel the energy that we bring. Come to the mixer so you can experience the culture that's being created by our chamber in Atascadero.
And where are you guys located?
We are located at 6907 El Camino Real, Suite A, but the landmarks are the movie theater, and we're across the parking lot from the movie theater, and we're next door to Wildfield's Brew House, which most people know where that is.
And you got that really cool precious metals
Mid-State.
place right next to you.
Yep.
That place. Yeah, that is actually probably the landmark that we should use.
It's true.
I think they have a lot of, just their pictures alone kind of steps you back into like the history, that he has up around just in our area.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's a great
Yeah,
place. And
Ron,
you guys,
we'll plug him. Ron Prescott with Mid-State Precious Metals, a great place to. He buys and sells gold, silver, and a lot of turquoise.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand
Really cool
that he's
family.
not just bulk coins and gold. He's got amazing sterling handcrafted jewelry in there. A lot of it being turquoise based. But if you like turquoise and sterling and you haven't gone there, you better make your way down there.
so Stephen, if there's a business out there that's interested in join the chamber, you're the guy.
I'm the guy.
You're the guy that's going to come in and talk to them all about it.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things where, when your product is the Chamber of Commerce in Atascadero, it makes for a pretty easy sell.
Very cool. Well, gentlemen, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
And thanks for being a partner of What's Up North County too, Josh. Like I said, and Stephen, I really look forward to 2026 and how we can continue to help. And thank you for the award. We appreciate that as well.
Well
Community
deserved.
champion.
Well deserved.
So we appreciate that and look forward to bringing in the businesses and learning more about our community, because I'm a big advocate for what you guys are doing in Atascadero, and always stress that people need to get out and walk around, because the city of Atascadero, the little small mom and pop shops that you don't see as you drive by, you have to get down there and check these things out and walk into them and meet the business owners and seeing what the products that they have there.
Yeah. Please do. Come check out our town. Absolutely. Walk around downtown, walk to the chamber. You'll have a great day.
Awesome. Couple highlights. We got the junior CEO coming up here April 12th, Sunken Gardens from 11 to 2 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
And that's where you're going to get a chance to check out some of these Flavor Flav
The hype chains.
school-spirited hype chains, and meet all these little entrepreneurs that you guys have been in the program. Would you say, Josh, 106 or something?
Yeah, we had 110, but there'll be 65 booths there. Wow. Some of them are like siblings and such, so there's 2 or 3 working in a booth.
Such a cool place.
Yeah.
Such a cool place. And then, of course, the mixer on
April 16th.
April 16th.
Chalk Mountain Golf Course, 5:30 to 7:30. It's going to be an absolute banger of a night.
Very cool. Well, gentlemen, thanks again for coming in. Always enjoy the talk and learning a little bit more about the beer-free refrigerators, right? Got to get to that Bridgeworks, huh?
right.
Come on down. I'll give you the tour.
Awesome. Well, guys, thanks again. I appreciate it.
Awesome, Randy. Thanks
Well, there
for
you have
having
it,
us.
guys. Hey, make sure you guys want to check out these programs. You got the Junior CEO happening April 12th, Atascadero Sunken Gardens from 11 to 2. And don't forget the monthly mixers that happen in Atascadero. Enjoy the community that you live in. But as always, guys, we can't do this without you and our sponsors. We'd like to thank Esclar Wine Travelers Hideaway. Visit Atascadero, 805 Customs, MGP Coatings, 1776 Roofing and Gutters, Premier Ag, Trailer Barn, Story Termite Pest Control, Borhone Auto Center, Kennedy Club Fitness, Airflow Filter Services, and Doubleton Heating and Air. Thanks again, guys. See you next time.
your home is your castle. It keeps you safe when the weather's rough. But if you're not taking care of your roof, things could get a little wild. 1776 Roofing with RoofMax will fix up the rough spots, treat the shingles, and give it years more life at a fraction of what a new roof costs. At TLC, your roof needs now. Call 805-900-1776.
When it comes to comfort, trust the team that's been keeping the North County homes cozy since 1995. At Templeton Heating and Air Conditioning, they're your hometown pros right here in Templeton. From tune-ups to repairs, remodels to new construction, even duct replacements and attic ventilation, they got you covered. Call your neighbors at 805-434-3741. Templeton Heating and Air Conditioning. Local, trusted, dependable.
Hi, I'm Glenn McWilliams.
And I'm Annie. As sixth-generation farmers, we understand what it takes to keep a ranch, a farm, and a community growing strong.
And that's why we started Premier Ag to bring quality feed, trusted Western wear, and real service to the Central Coast.
From hay delivery across the county to hands-on support for local youth and ag programs, we're proud to give back to the community that raised us.
And when we say from seed to stable, we mean it. We've walked the fields, we fed the animals, and now we're here to serve families just like yours.
Come visit us at 1041 Paso Robles Street in Paso Robles and experience the difference of a store built by farmers for farmers.
From seed to store, where quality meets country.
Hi, this is Dave Story, small game hunter with Story Termite and Pest. We're a full-service termite and pest control company. From rodents to termites, we can take care of all your pest control needs. Call today, we can tailor a pest control program that will meet your needs and budget. Contact us at 805-460-0650 or at storytermite.com. Remember, we don't have customers, we have friends.
Looking for a top quality concrete coating in SLO County? Hi, I'm Matt Gifford with MGP Coatings, your trusted local expert in durable, long-lasting concrete coatings backed by Pentec's limited lifetime warranty. Whether it's residential or commercial, we deliver expert craftsmanship, premium products, and unbeatable customer service. When we say we make concrete great again, we mean it. As a locally owned, community-driven company, we take pride in transforming garages, patios, pool decks, wineries, and even interior spaces into stunning, functional areas. Are you ready to upgrade your space? Give us a call at 805-952-5301. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or visit mattgiffordpainting.com. Join the MGP Coating family today.
What's up, North County? This is Teresa Branch with Airflow Filter Service. We are a family-owned business right here in the North County. We have air filters, oils and lubricants, and hydraulic hoses. We provide services that include air filter cleaning, DPF cleaning, and waste oil collection. Come check us out at 1140 Ramada Drive, and we can help you with all your automotive and industrial vehicle needs.
Atascadero isn't your standard getaway. We're unique, just like you. We're growing, transforming, and figuring it out as we go. We're a town filled with innovators, artists, makers, and game changers. We're a little bit country, a little bit funky, and always authentic. We're here for your good times, your slow times, and your changing times. We're all in Atascadero. Come see for yourself. Learn more at visitatascadero.com.